Calgary, we did it. We won the Stanley Cup for the second time in the GM mode. Welcome back ahead of this Season 10 off-season. That's what we're going to be doing in this video. Going through the off-season of Season 10, and then I want a really super quick simulation of the regular season. It could be the last regular season of the whole GM mode. There's no guarantee that the team we put together is going to make the playoffs. So we want to take this time to cherish all the moments of the GM mode. If we look back in hindsight, here's a recap of everything that's happened in the GM mode to the best of my abilities, because I don't have this listed in front of me. I'm just literally looking at the playlist that I've uploaded to YouTube. Season 1, we missed the playoffs in Season 1. We were not realistically expecting to make it. Season 2, we did make the playoffs. However, we were bounced in 5 games in round 2 by the Anaheim Ducks. We would go on to miss the playoffs in Season 3, so we did not make the Season 3 playoffs. Season 4, that was a magical season. We went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, to a Stanley Cup Final Game 7, and defeated the Buffalo Sabres in 7 games in that series. We also managed to make it back to the playoffs again in Season 5. We had that great series with the Coyotes that went 7 games. However, it was the San Jose Sharks this time that eliminates us in the second round in 5 games. We would proceed to miss the Season 6 playoffs, got back in Season 7. Now, that was a great run in Season 7. Awesome run. We went through again the San Jose Sharks. I believe that was in 7 games in round 1 of Season 7. Then we faced the Anaheim Ducks, took those guys out in 6 games, I believe. Unfortunately, we did drop the next series to the St. Louis Blues. It was a catastrophic ending to Game 7. It went 7 games, and we blew it. We blew it. We blew Game 7 to the Blues. I will never forgive them or forget that series. I will never forgive them for that defeat. We missed the next season, Season 8. We did not make the playoffs in Season 8. And then your most recent season, Season 9, back into the playoffs and on a full charge to the Stanley Cup, our best run yet, as we win it in 4 games against the Columbus Blue Jackets. We win 4 straight games in the Stanley Cup Final. Never gave Columbus a chance in that series to take home the big hardware at the end of the year. Now, the offseason and the boring phase of things in the GM mode kicks off again. We have a draft. It's an entry draft that doesn't really mean anything to me. At this point in the GM mode, we're not going to see any of these players, so I'm just going to go right in, and I may just auto-sim the whole draft. Before we go into said draft, I forgot about the free agent, or not free agents, why did I say free agents? Retirement screen. So the retired players, Rick Nash finally hangs them up after just shy of 1,500 games played. Alexander Ovechkin, he never broke the record in this game world. I don't even know, so it's 2022 season, I think. He didn't even play as long in the game world as he did in real life. He plays 1,339 games and only scored 759 goals, only scored 759. 759 goals, 1,409. He had way better than point per game in his career. Brent Seabrook and Duncan Keith. Finally, Duncan Keith retires. They ride off into the sunset. Ryan Suter, Mike Richards with the Kings, Brooks Laich with Tampa Bay, Phaneuf, Tootin, Hemsky, Zajac, Stafford, lots of names here. Edler, Bufflin, Dubinsky on that Columbus Blue Jackets team retired. So close, but his team never captured a victory in the Stanley Cup Final. Ryan Callahan, former member of your Calgary Flames here in the GM mode. We traded him to Carolina. Did we trade him or was he picked up in... I can't remember. I think Carolina signed him in free agency, but he retires with Carolina. David Booth, Talbot, Hansen, Versteeg, lots of names. All these guys over 1,000 games played for these guys. I'm just going to keep the list going. Victor Stahlberg goes to Ottawa. He won a Stanley Cup with us in Season 4. That's something I need to go over before I go into the draft. All the players that were a part of our team in Season 9 that also won the Stanley Cup with us is in Season 4. Mario Kempe, that's not the Kempy that was with us. Corey Emerton retires. So there's one of your players that won both cups with the Flames. He rides off perfectly into the sunset as a Stanley Cup champion again with the Flames. And now you're just looking at Paul Bissonnette finally calls it a career. 220 games played and 9 goals scored. So I think that's going to do it for all of the retired skaters. Goaltenders wise, we got Cam Ward retiring after 839 games played. Jimmy Howard, Halak, and Varlamov. Those are all the names off the board. And is that Cam Talbot? Cameron Talbot. Yeah, Cam Talbot retires. Just 39 games played in this game world. So before we get out of this screen, the players that were a part of both Stanley Cup champion Flames teams, Corey Emerton is certainly one of them. We just saw his name in the retired screen here. Corey Emerton won a cup in Season 4 and Season 9 with us. Aaron Ekblad did. He was a rookie in Season 4 when he won the cup on the blue line. A veteran by Season 9, wins 2 cups with the Flames. Peter Mrazek, he's been here since basically, I think, Season 1. Peter Mrazek has been here, backstopped us to 2 Stanley Cup championships and a Conn Smythe trophy. Then, who else? There's another player that I'm leaving. There's another Alexei Laxo, who was injured in the Season 9 Stanley Cup final and did not play any games in that final. He won both cups with us. There's another name, Ben Hanowski as well. He won both Stanley Cups with us. So, if there's any names that I'm leaving off, I'm doing this on the top of my head. So, I'm trying to remember our roster off the top of our head. There will be some changeover. And also, most importantly, Corey Perry did not retire, and he did win that cup with the Calgary Flames. He's still in it, but I think we're just going to leave Corey Perry to go to free agency. Free agency matters not right now. We don't even have a first-round pick. Fine. The draft at this point in the final season of this GM mode does not matter anymore. The Flyers, they maintain possession of the first overall pick in the draft. Just a quick peek back at everybody that was drafted. There's the 7th round, going backwards from round 7, round 6 here. We took Prusek there in the 6th round, Kemp in the 5th round, in the 4th round, Martins, in the 3rd round, Ripien, a nice name there. We did not have a 2nd round pick either, and the 1st round. I told you we would look at Philadelphia. They drafted Korolev. There he is. 3.5 green star. Nothing insane here. 20 years old, 59 overall. Out of Ukraine. I don't know where he's from. First overall pick in the draft. That's not much to say there for me. I mean, I don't see anything impressive about that pick. But it doesn't really matter. We're in Season 10, and now we're going to focus on our off-season needs. So you remember the year that we gave the big contracts out to Sagan and Ekblad. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They both have 5 years remaining on that deal. Different, money values for both players, but 5 years remaining on those contracts. And that would take Sagan perfectly to his mid-30s. You see the age. Ekblad already 26 years of age. Already, just like that. Corey Perry, he's still under contract for another. Corey Perry to me is he's a trade asset. I brought him on to win 1 Stanley Cup. I said we could buy that out. I think we just buy out. We could look at a trade option, but we could also just buy out Corey Perry. I have plans to go and pursue people in free agency. Yuri Tulusti's another one, 34 years of age. Hopefully he doesn't drop off. I'm going to believe that Tulusti's going to be fine for another season. I'm looking at the age of some of these players because this is for the upcoming season. The 22-23 season is in front of us. And we've got a roster that is getting ever older. But all of these guys are under contract, so I've got Boguniecki. We're going to wait on him. He's going to be ready for next season. So Boguniecki's going to get in there. So Bogs, as I'm going to call him. Now you're starting to look at AHL players in here. So all of these guys now are just AHL players, and there's not a whole lot to do in terms of free agents. I don't even care about Knubel. We're just going to let him go to free agency. He was drafted in the 2nd round in 2020. I don't see any reason to sign any of these players except well, Christoph Muller we'll give him a new contract. Is he just gonna want an easy? That's a easy deal there. So we'll get to Muller. So I got all these RFAs to do. Maltby, sure. Again, just need these guys to fill out the AHL roster for a season or two. Well, for a season, it's just one season remaining. So Slater, same thing. Whoever this Slater is, Sheldon Slater. I think these are like my draft picks or something of that nature. Hartnell, Orlando Hartnell, give him a new deal, AHL level contract. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna have to pay attention to my. Oh, I forgot about. Oh, there are some UFAs I got to take care of. Rasmus Ristolainen, you were awesome for the Flames in the playoffs. I'll give you that deal. I'll give you exactly what you want. Come back to the Flames. Granlund. How old is Granlund? I didn't pay it. 29 years of age. 81. You know, we've relied on him as our center. We're going to bring him back one more time. I believe Granlund was on our Stanley Cup winning team in 2000. Season 4. Whatever year. Was that 2017? Is that when we won the Stanley Cup? Tony Rajula. The controller disconnected in this screen. Tony Rajula. I am going to let him go. I'm just going to let him go. He was healthy scratch for the duration of the playoffs. Simon Luff is how old? 31. We can do that for one more season. If I find a good defenseman in free agency, I will be willing to go all out because I want to give ourselves the best chance possible to make the playoffs, and I will try to make the cap space for this team work. So if I have to trade some pieces out to make room for a good free agent signing, I would be more than willing to do that. Bring back Laxo for one more season. I'm fine with bringing back our entire D-core, including Keith Ollie. I mean, at this point in the GM, I'm just giving them exactly what they want. At this point in the GM mode, it doesn't really matter to me. Lars Eller, sure. I'm just bringing back the same team for the most part. Just bring them all back. That's my way of looking at things. So I'm going to let Paul Byron go. Fadoon, we'll sign Fadoon because we do need some guys in the AHL, and I'm just going to sign some of these guys, and then the computer can, of course, figure everything out. Kostitsyn's 35. Nope. Kostitsyn, we're letting you go. We got to make room for a couple of players that we're expecting to come up and play full-time in the NHL. So I'm looking specifically at Boguniecki as being a full-time NHLer, and then we can fill any gaps that we have in our team in free agency. Goaltending-wise, you know, I just want to speed this whole process up. Goaltending-wise, Darcy Kemper for one more, yeah. I mean, Mrazek's going to play the majority of the games, so we'll just give Darcy Kemper that deal. Mrazek's under contract still for another 2 seasons, so we're completely fine. Okay, Eller, Maltby, Ollie, good. Smolanak, 37 overall, enforcer, left wing. Sign him. Put this guy in the NHL. He deserves it. We play this guy on the Flames team next season. Oh my, should we just dump a ton of money at Pietrangelo or Braden Shen? Yeah, let's go after one of these players. Pulley, Shen. We really could use a boost to, you know what? I think we're just going to throw money at, we could throw money at Shen and that would be fun. Or maybe we look for, I had to figure out what we're going to do here. Shen has 2 teams interested. What did he do? 13 goals, 40 points. Yeah, I mean, he's capped out at about 13, 14, 15 goals. Foligno? Marcus Foligno? Wasn't he with Columbus? Or was he with a different team? That's the other Foligno, isn't it? Man. But it does drop off quite a bit here, doesn't it? Kostitsyn's there in free agency. I feel like I gotta look at team needs. Pietrangelo is tempting. I could really throw that money, and I know we have the cap space for it. Forward-wise, what we got? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, we got... This is our top 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6. Yeah, forget about Perry. I mean, I'm gonna figure out what to do with Perry. Maybe Bogdanieki's really good. Yeah, you know, we need to go after the forward. We need the forward more than we need. So what? Let me see what we got. We got 1, 2 with Faxa, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Forget about Perry, actually. So scratch that 8. 8 at Bogdaniecki. He's ready. He's going to play in the NHL next year. So 8, 9 with Caron, 10 with Paulinen, Seviors and Healthy Extra. We actually need a couple of players. We need like 3 players. So maybe we go after the big fish. I didn't mean to back out of that. Back into contracts, 1 second. I got to see how many defensemen we got. What do we got at D? How are we feeling at D? We pretty stacked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Ollie is the odd man out next year. We played Ristolainen. I think we're fine on D. It's not amazing, but the depth is pretty decent there. So we're going to go after... This is the year to go big in free agency. So this is just the year to go balls deep in free agency, for lack of a better word. Shen, I'm going to give you that contract. Well, I got to look at the cap space I got. It says I got 14.5 million. I could definitely spread that between Foligno and Shen. Or we could, man, Shen's tempting. I really, really like the idea of adding Braden Shen. We definitely want to go after, I feel like we want to go after Foligno, but maybe we go after a less pricey forward. Like, we get ourselves sorted out on the wing. So we go Foligno and Calvert, former Blue Jackets players. I think we need to do that. And I'm gonna give Foligno a lot of money, so we'll just go. We're gonna have to weigh up our offer. I want Foligno for sure, so Foligno's gonna be I'm gonna try to get him to be a Flame. We'll go a whole $1 million more, a whole $1 million plus than what his asking price is. That should satisfy Foligno for 1 year. That's pretty easy. There's 5 teams interested, with us throwing our name into the hat there as well. Christian Thomas, Scott Harrington on D could be a nice little acquisition on D, but I'm going to go for Calvert as well. So Calvert, I have the cap space for this, so I can definitely throw like a whole $1 million above their asking price. And I should be able to lock up these forwards to give us the depth and everything that we need. I'm willing to pay $4 million to Calvert. It's a bit of an overpay, but we need to be all in to try and defend that Stanley Cup. It's the last season of the GM mode. I want to make the playoffs. And you remember, I need to trade Corey Perry. So let's go look at that as a possibility as well. Does Perry have... He has very minimal trade value. Now, Anaheim doesn't want Perry. Boston. Buffalo does. Just wondering if I can get a forward out of this. We would retain salary on Perry to make anything work. Colorado. Who of equivalent trade value does Colorado have that would make sense? Let's sort this by overall. See if maybe there's a player that would make sense. We could also do a package deal. What would I package in a deal? We could package a draft pick. We could package a first-round pick. Yeah, this year's first and Perry. This year's first and Perry with retained salary to one of these teams to get a good player. To see, this would really help a lot of teams out in terms of see how much the salary cap available for Colorado is going down. So this would actually make it fit for a team like Colorado. That's 50% retained. That's the maximum that you can retain, plus a first, and I would even throw in like another pick. Maybe throw in like a first and a third, plus Perry to get a good player. But they got to want Perry. That's the main thing. Edmonton, we've done some deals with Dallas in the past. Maybe they make another deal with us to help us go on the way to winning another Stanley Cup here. Oh, I got the deal. I got the deal here. So, I think we're going to try to stack this up. I got another deal with the Dallas Stars. And this could come back to haunt me because now he'll still be in the West. But we could send Corey Perry, this prospect, Rick Strudwick, a third to Dallas for Ryan Kujawinski. Now, Kujawinski, this guy always performed for me in the GM modes when I would play GM mode and not record any. I wouldn't record it. I just played it on my own time. And this guy always came through in big games in the simulation for me. Maybe he can come through and lead us back to the playoffs and hopefully a third Stanley Cup. I got to go for Kujawinski. I got to do it. I did a Montreal GM mode. in my own time about 10 years ago in NHL 13, and he was a beast in the simulation. So we're going to try it. I don't think Dallas is going to accept. However, I'm retaining 50% of Corey Perry's salary, so that's going to free up cap space. This would easily fit for Dallas, I believe. We'd be saving money even by... No, I don't know. I can't do the math on the money right now. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to see if it goes through. It does not. That's fine. I will send you the first. That's going to go through. I don't care about the first this year. I just want Kudrowinski. So that's going to go through. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Ultimately, considering the need this offer would address, we don't think it makes sense to take on the salary of Perry, even at 50% retained. What if I throw in the first and a third? How does that feel? How does that feel, Dallas? They just don't want Corey Perry. They really just do not want Corey Perry. You know, I feel like I could send Dallas the prospect, the picks, and we just buy out Corey Perry. We could try that. I'm going to try and really sweeten the pot. What if, an offer, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse, Dallas. A first, a third, and a second. Plus a prospect, Strudwick, plus Corey Perry, retained at 50% for Kudrowinski. Dallas just doesn't want to. Okay, remove the draft picks off the board. Forget about it, Dallas. I'm removing the draft picks. I'm removing Perry. Oops. Yeah, okay, good. No, take Perry out of the, oh my God. I'm really all over the place. Corey Perry, take Corey Perry out. Strudwick and a first for Kudrowinski. This is an overpayment. You know, let's see if we can get a defenseman in there. See if I can get a defenseman back from Dallas as well. Because we're just going to end up buying out Corey Perry's contract. Or maybe I'll just try to trade him for scraps or something like that. Yeah, sure. Throw in... Screw you, Dallas. Throw in Morrow. I don't care. Joe Morrow. How old is he? I missed his age. 29 years of age. You know what? Never mind. We have a log jam on the back end, don't we? Throw in another... Anyone you're willing to give away, Dallas. Anybody giving away. I didn't see any skaters giving away. Louis Eriksson. We could swap Eriksson for Perry. There's no need to take on Louis Eriksson. He could really drop off. I just want Kudrowinski. So this is an overpayment for Kudrowinski. But just execute this trade. And they like it. They made out like gangbusters. Okay, well, enjoy your... Yeah, hopefully it's a late first round pick for Dallas. Okay, any takers on... I got fleeced by Dallas, didn't I? I don't know, man. I think Kudrowinski is going to be great in the sim for this team, so that solves that issue. Man, I got to find Corey Perry in the skaters list, and we got to just find a taker for Corey Perry. Perry's got, like, no trade value, as you can tell. Anybody want him? Edmonton wants Perry. I think you just get back either a prospect. It doesn't really matter. I just want to move Perry out of here. So that way I can free up that roster spot. That's the primary thing. And if I have to get a draft pick back, and that's all I can get back, that's fine with me. Maybe, yeah, try to get a second. I'll give me back my second round pick. And I guess it's because, what if I retain salary? Would it then be approved if I retain some salary on Corey Perry? Sending him to Edmonton and retaining salary. Oh, look at the trade value. It's still off. The trade value is off. Even with retaining salary, the trade value is off. But I think that will not work. Well, what if we come back to Edmonton and I just ask for this goalie prospect? No. Every team is having a hard time. It's all salary cap. Okay, so I got to get Toronto to offload a bad contract. Okay, I just cannot find a trading partner for Corey Perry for a variety of reasons. We don't have any choice. We have to buy this contract out. How do I do that, actually? How do I buy out a contract? Can I do it from this screen? Is there a... I thought it was like Square or something. Can I not buy out Corey Perry's contract? You know, we're going to simulate... my GM rep has dropped. Okay, we're going to simulate. I simulated ahead a couple of days. Maybe... I didn't mean to go into that screen. My brain is like in a blender right now. But GM options, not trade negotiations, contracts. If I go to contracts, and now I find Corey Perry in this list, can I buy out the player now that we've simmed ahead, or do I have to wait until I've already scrolled past Perry. If we go to Perry, where the hell is his name at? Corey Perry. I click on that. No, I cannot do anything. So do I have to wait until the contracts until we've gone past free agency to buy out we're gonna buy out Corey Perry. That's basically what it boils down to. Foligno accepts, Calvert accepts. So there you go. We got Kuzminski, we got Calvert, Foligno. We're stacked. We're locked and loaded. So the Pietrangelo went off the board. He signed with Phoenix. There it is. He signs with Phoenix. Any other big names going off the board? Kostitsyn's still up there. I'm not bringing back Kostitsyn for another season. Where did Kostitsyn end up? The Predators are shopping Shea Weber. Oh my! I could bring the Weber bomb to Calgary. Okay, did Kostitsyn sign in Ottawa? So there you go. He's in the East. I'm out on Shea Weber. The trade value is ridiculous for an aging player like that, and that would be fun if we were in. Maybe revisit at the trade deadline, but let's sim ahead to preseason or whatever, and we'll find out if we can buy out Corey Perry's contract from there. Okay, can we buy out Perry? Can we please tell me I can buy Corey Perry out? And he's 87 overall. This might actually end up being a good idea to keep Corey Perry. He's 87 overall. And it's wait a minute. Well, we're ahead of the 10th year now. So we're officially, I don't care about the scouting assignment. We're into the 10th year. We're going to be going into the 10th year. I got to see, is Corey Perry 87 overall? I got so much to look at before we go into this. So back to contract screen. It may not be a good idea to buy out Corey Perry. 87 overall. So if I can't do anything. I can't do anything with that player or that contract. I have $2.3 million in cap space. And we decided to load up by getting Foligno. We got, who was the other player that we added? Kuzminski we got through a trade with Dallas. Calvert. So Corey Perry may just still be in the lineup. This could be just a really stacked team. What about Boguniecki? Is Boguniecki up here? He's not up here on the main roster, so we got to go to in the system. Oh my God, he's 81 overall, so he did bump up. Call that guy. I'm gonna have to do some roster moves. There's too much to take care of with this team. It's crazy. So, sort this by overall. We got to do forwards. Sort this by overall forwards. Who are the odd men out? Well, Colton Sevior, you're sent down. And so that takes care of Colton Sevior sent down. Paulanen, you can get sent down to the minors as well. Swap, bring up Boguniecki. When did I draft him? Can I look at that information? Boguniecki, he's a draft pick of ours. 19 years old, second overall. That's right, the 2021 draft. So we're about to start the 22-23 season. Now I've got some lines to edit, and I got decisions to make. Corey Perry just stayed. I thought he would retire, man. He would have made it so much easier if he just freaking retired, but we can't do that. Who is out as a scratch is what I'm getting at. Whoa, we got a lot of scratches. Kuzminski's out as a scratch. Granlund is out. Granlund can be out as a healthy scratch. I want Kuzminski, and I want Bogues. I'm just going to call him Bogues. Boguniecki, get in there. So do you think we would be fine? This is actually, look at this roster. This is a pretty decent roster. Boguniecki, you can play fourth line minutes. I don't know if it tells me what his role as a player is. Obviously, he's on an ELC. That makes, look at that. What a hoss, 6'6", 248. Don't mess with this guy. Oh, I hope we make the playoffs. This Flames team has to make the playoffs with this guy in the lineup. He's going to play on the fourth line. Look at this big line here. Caron, I thought Caron's pretty big. He's 6'2", 202. Okay, that's pretty big, but not as big as Boguniecki. We got look at this bottom six playmakers alongside of two-way forwards and power forwards. That's just a powerful bottom six we got here. This group. Who else did I see was scratched? We had those two guys out. Granlund, that's fine with Granlund sitting, and Ristolainen's got to get in there. So someone on D is going to have to get scratched out of the lineup. I think we just play Ben Hanowski on the top line. No, sir. It's got to be Riley Smith with Sagan, Perry. That was the line last year. Calvert with Faxa, Hanowski. I agree. Or you could swap Foligno and play Foligno up there, but we'll start with Calvert, the sniper, on the second line. Then, odd man out for me was going to be Keith Ollie. I want Ristolainen playing. Let me do this. Keith Ollie, find his name in the list, scratch the defenseman, grab Ristolainen, dress the player, put him in the lineup. He's a two-way, so he's not a defensive defenseman. In fact, we have one defensive defenseman. It's going to be Simon Luff playing alongside Aaron Ekblad. But if need be, I wouldn't mind trying and experimenting if we start losing Ristolainen on the top here. Laxo, Ekblad, I'm fine with all of that, except I'm going to take Simon Luff off the power play. And on that power play, I would like to put... Is Calvert out there? Calvert is not on the power play anywhere, so we'll put him on the point. But then Hanowski scored a bunch of goals. I think we'll just start with that. Faxa, Sagan. I think it's got to be the other way around. Sagan. No, we had Faxa and Sagan in the playoffs, didn't we? I'm going to stick with Faxa, Sagan. Eller, no. At center, let me look at my center core. Who should kill penalties? Eller, Toulouse. What is Lars Eller's defense category? That's my question. 76 faceoffs. I guess we could roll with Eller on the PK. Foligno's faceoffs, he is a wing, but yeah, his faceoffs are not very high. Ryan Kujawenski is a center. Kujawenski, let's let Kujawenski have a try on the PK as a center. So I got to find the penalty kill. It's going to be Kujawenski who's going to kill penalties for this team this year. Found his name, put him in the lineup there. He's going to kill him along Riley Smith. That'll be an interesting duo. Three-man PK. Yep, Faxa and Sagan, we split them up like that. 4-on-4, Faxa, Sagan, Smith. Then that would be... Who did... Ristolainen in that missing spot on defense. Toulouse, Smith, Faxa, Hanowski. I'm fine with that. Extra attacker's got to be like... I'm going to make the extra attacker Kujawenski. Goalies... Shootout. Shootout can be that. That's fine with me for the shootout. So Fax is your second line center, as remains true from last season. Toulouse, third line center. Eller, fourth line center. We did have Toulouse on the wing, though. I might try. Let me look at Toulouse's faceoffs. He is a 60 faceoffs for a center. Kujawenski, you're playing center this year, buddy. Third line center alongside Toulouse and Foligno. So we'll try that out. I'm glad I looked at that. Make sure Toulouse's not playing center anywhere else. We got Faxa, Toulouse, Smith. I'm good with the power play. We'll start out with that as it is. Make any changes as are necessary when we get into simulating the season.